The U.S. city of Baltimore will introduce a ceasefire this weekend. It's aimed at tackling record-high murder rates and stopping a spate of killings. It's the third ceasefire of its kind. It comes as members of the police unit in the city are on trial. That's one of America's biggest corruption scandals. RT's Samira Khan has been following it all.
This weekend, activists are calling for a 72-hour ceasefire, asking for a weekend without any violence whatsoever. This is the third event of its kind in the last 6 months, but these ceasefire weekends began in August when Baltimore's homicide rate reached a record high last year with 343 murders, the highest in the U.S.
People all around the city make commitments to just be peaceful and not be violent for 3 days and to celebrate life and do life-affirming events. So there are events all over the city.
We just start with a weekend and we keep at it until we see a weekend of no homicides.
The rise is partly attributed to a drastic drop in arrests made by the Gun Trace Task Force, which is now dissolved as most of its members are on trial. But there's been some damage control. Authorities have replaced its police commissioner.
Baltimore Police Commissioner Kevin Davis was fired. The notice shook many this morning as Mayor Catherine Pugh pushed out a press release at 8 o'clock this morning.
I'm impatient. We need violence reduction. We need the numbers to go down faster than they are.
However, his appointment came as somewhat of a shock. His name almost instantly brought back memories of police shootings back in 1995. Nevertheless, the new commissioner came out guns blazing with a bunch of reforms, including predictive policing, a computer system that can estimate the date, place, and even the possible perpetrator of a crime that's yet to be committed. He's planning to install more surveillance cameras and deploy more patrols to troubled districts. But stepping up surveillance doesn't really sound like a new plan. Even the Department of Justice advised against it.
Baltimore law enforcement's widespread unconstitutional and discriminatory policing has exacerbated community distrust of the police, particularly in the African American community.
As court hearings continue here in Baltimore, many fear that there could be a problem much greater than one rogue unit. And some of the latest testimonies.
Jenkins, the indicted officer, told me he had handpicked the Gun Trace Task Force to be a front for a criminal enterprise. He also said there were officers from other units working with him. Baltimore police provided security for Jenkins when he met with the drug supplier from New York.
Despite efforts to reform the system, it seems that every testimony undermines citizens' trust in law enforcement, and there are still weeks of trials to come. Samira Khan, RT, reporting from Baltimore.